Looking in your textbook at page 91, it says, with the system in the normal operating mode, what voltages would you measure across the following? So before we jumped on this diagram, this is a ladder diagram, no, it's a schematic. Let's talk about your meter. Your voltmeter, which is probably part of a multimeter. In other words, it reads a lot of different things. Maybe capacitance, ohms, temperature, amps maybe. The voltmeter on it reads potential difference. It reads potential difference. It has 2 leads, not 3. And so the best it can do is read the difference between one place and another. It's not a guarantee there's not voltage there. Voltage is the electrical pressure that helps propel electrons through the circuit. The higher the voltage, the more pressure is to push. All right. When we use a voltmeter, it can be used accurately 2 places. Obviously, you can use it in 1,000, but it's only can be counted on to be accurate in 2 places. That's across a source, or the legs of a source, or across a load. It is no good reading a path, or it's no good reading one source without a different polarity. Okay? So let's take a look at this diagram. I have a 3-phase, 240 volt schematic diagram. The legs are labeled L1, L2, L3, page 91, and they've got fuses in the circuit. I have a compressor that is a 3-phase compressor because it has 3 hot legs. The condenser fan motor only has 2. It's not a 3-phase fan motor. The blower motor only has 2 hot legs, so it's not a 3-phase. The transformer only has 2 hot legs, so it's not a 3-phase transformer. The transformer steps down to 24 volts and immediately has an inline fuse where it would go into the internal part of the T-stat labeled R, Y, and G. We have a high pressure, low pressure switch. As we saw before, we have low voltage overload protectors, 3 of them for the 3 legs. This is not an accurate symbol for us. What is that symbol on the overload on the 24 volt line? Normally closed switch. That is not what we have. We would normally have 3 small heaters here that help open bimetal switches. Okay? And then, of course, we have an oil switch, also incorrectly labeled a normally closed contact. Y'all see that? We could have a low pressure switch. We could have a high oil pressure switch. We could have a pressure differential switch. We're definitely not going to have a normally closed automatic switch. But like I said, these guys make textbooks. They don't work on air conditioning equipment. So, let's start. Number 1, reading voltage from L1 to L2. I know some of you haven't dealt with 3-phase. What should I read if the system is in normal operating mode? 240. That's right. 2. Across the coil on branch 11, the coil is labeled C. Do y'all see that? What would we expect to read there the way it is? 24 volts. 24 volts, absolutely. 3. From R to G on the thermostat. R to G. 24 volts. Negative. There's no polarity difference there. There's 24 at R, the same 24 is at G, right? It's not a different 24.
Zero.
No, we're not saying there's not 24 volts there. So what would you read? Right? That's what your meter would have to tell you. Same way with that power line going across there with, 1,000 volts. If it's the same 1,000 volts, your meter's not going to read it unless you read it to ground. You go up there and grab it, you know that your meter lied to you. Zero. Always. Yeah. Because if we're doing it with our fingers, we're going to have to get, well, maybe that's 20. I've met some of them old electricians who lift their fingers. That's wild. You look at how old he is. You look at 100. Number 4, number 4, the condenser fan motor. What are they asking here, y'all? Across it? I mean, before they're saying, across the coil. If they're asking us across the condenser fan motor, I'd accept 240. I don't know what else to say. Let me ask you this. We got 243 phase. That's what you read when you read across any two hot legs. How much is one leg to ground?
120.
Okay. Approximately, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this. What if this was a 208 system? 3-phase, 208. You read across two of them, you get 210, 208. You read from one to ground, what are you going to get? 120. That's because it's a different kind of step-down transformer. There's a Y, okay, and a delta. All right. 5. Same thing. Transformer, primary side. What side is the primary? Incoming. So what are we going to read? There you go. That's what I'm guessing. 6. Across contacts on line 8. Do y'all see the contacts on line 8?
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
0.
All right, so that's the good thing to say 0, because we're assuming they're closed, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that part of the two places I told y'all you could accurately read across the path?
Yeah.
And so if this is open, if this switch, this contact is open, and we have power on the L1 side, and we have power on the L2 side, the L3 side, you'll see that. Chances are we're going to read a little something there.
So, you should check one side of it and check the other side of it.
Now, I would just say, first of all, never read anywhere but across a load or a source. What I'm saying is, your meter is going to be confused when it reads. If it reads across a closed switch, it's going to read 0. It'll be consistent. But the problem is, let's say it's hot on L1 side and it's no power on L3. It's going to read something because your meter is going to send a signal all the way through the blower motor, the resistance of the blower motor, back to the ground of L2. It's going to read a little something, but it's going to be really inaccurate. If L3 is hot, it may even read close to the voltage on L3 side, even though there is no power on the lines, the load side of the BR open switch. Okay. I know that's kind of confusing.
So you're saying the answer is?
So the answer is 0, and you shouldn't try to read there, right? I mean, that's as accurate as going to this wall, putting it in one place on the sheetrock and another. It's not made for reading voltage over there. coil 11. All right, let me just say this. The coil is the C, right?
Mhm.
And what they mean by the line side is, if you're looking at that, the left side. They consider the right side of the coil the load. Okay? What would our voltage be?
Zero. Oh, well.
Across the fuse on line 10,
Zero.
0. It's not a load or source, right? 9. Now, list all the electrical components that should be checked for possible causes in each of the filings. And we're looking for problems. The thermostat contacts are closed. The indoor blower motor is running. But the condenser motor and the compressor are off.
Overload, trip. Bad coil, thermostat.
Okay, hang on. We need something that both would take out the compressor and the condenser fan motor. See what we're saying? They're telling us that the Y is energized, I believe, right? They're closed. I think it's what it said. Y terminal is the thermostat, pardon me, is closed. So, and we got power, or the blower motor wouldn't be running probably. What would do that? What would let the blower motor work and not the compressor and the condenser fan? Okay, high pressure or the low pressure switch. Some of those are overloads y'all are talking about. The oil switch, right? What else?
C relay.
The C relay could itself be bad. How about the C contact on L3? That would keep both of them from running, right? The blower motor would still run. Alright. 10. The thermostat contacts are closed. Now the compressor and the condenser fan are short cycling, but the indoor blower motor is off. Now, when somebody says it's short cycling, that means it's running, but it's cutting off not by the thermostat. In other words, if the thermostat calls for it, it cools it down, and the thermostat says I'm satisfied, that's not short cycling. But if anything else cuts it off prior to the thermostat being satisfied, that's short cycling. So what would do that?
Pressure switch.
So what? Now bear in mind that the indoor blower motor is not running. It could be a lot of things, but we don't want two different things. What one thing can do all of that? Well, how about the blower motor itself not running? Bad blower motor. What's that going to do to it? We're going to have low pressure after it runs a while. All right, what else? How about the BR contacts are physically not closing? Same thing. It's going to cause it to go low. What about the BR coil? BR coil is bad. So all three things could cause that to go bad and make it short cycle. Where we got? 11. If the L3 fuse is open, what would the condenser fan motor continue to do? The condenser fan motor continue to do. Is that what they're asking?
I said, would it continue running?
Would it continue to run?
Running.
Why would it
Yes or
run?
no? That's a yes or no question.
No. I said no.
I said
Oh,
no.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just misread that.
Yeah, it's no.
Right, it won't run without a leg of power there, right? Is there a question back there? Right, okay. 12. If L3 is open, Would the evaporator fan motor continue to run?
No.
No, right? Now, if L2 went out, and L1 and L3 are okay, the evaporator fan motor should work, the condenser fan motor should work, the transformer, right? The compressor is the only thing that needs the L2, right? All right. Let's take a look at page 93. So here it gives us a schematic. This would have been assignment D, is that right? So it gives me a schematic diagram, and it says I want to read that and make the wiring that'll work for the picture diagram. So I'm just going to kind of get y'all started on this, okay? Everybody got this? I think I put the extra copies I had in the shelving unit out there. I gave them out on a different day than I gave the B and C. Some up there. Alright, everybody ready? Alright, so the first thing I want to look at is I got L1, L2, and L3 on my schematic, all feeding through a fuse, and we see that in the fuse disconnect on the top right corner, right? This has nothing to do with the board. So, thank you. Coming out of L1, what does that show up on? You see where it says 3 at on L1? We have a junction there. And I'm just going to draw it down for a second with my finger. I go down to line 6 and I have a parallel circuit. I continue down to 8 and I have a parallel circuit. This is off of L1. And then I go down to 9 and I feed the transformer. Does that make sense? So I have 3 circuits. I'm going to need 3 wires off of L1. Are y'all with me? Coming off the fuse? One needs to go straight across into the contactor. One needs to go over to the BR contact, right? The blower relay. You see the blower relay over there? Yes, sir.
Contact.
Directly below the fuse disconnect, it says contactor. You're looking at the schematic.
Okay.
Look
C right there. Where's that C?
Yes, it says L1 and then a C. You see that? Now look down below at your picture diagram. Look in the top right corner, it says fuse disconnect. L1 goes through a disconnect and a fuse. At the end of that fuse, you're going to have 3 wires coming out. One's going to go directly straight down to the contactor. Y'all see that? One is going to go to the left all the way over to the blower relay. Now the blower relay has a coil and it has a normally open contact. You need to go into one of the dots that connect to the blower relay contact. And then the third place is, coming out of L1, I want to go into the transformer where it says high, H-I. That's our primary side. So I've got 3 parallel circuits coming out of L1. Now I'm going to look at my schematic on top at L2. This is pretty simple. L2 on my schematic comes straight out and simply feeds the contactor. So I'm going to go down to my picture diagram. I'm going to find L2 after the fuse, and I'm going to go straight across to the contactor. Now I'm going to look at L3 on my schematic. L3 has, here again, 3 parallel circuits. One feeds the contactor, one feeds the blower motor itself, the motor, and the third fits wires into the transformer high. So I'm going to go to my picture diagram below. Yes, sir.
On that L2, we stop at the contact.
That's it.
Yeah, so in the picture, I got you. That's turns into teaching.
Yeah, but we'll hit that later. Right now, we're just getting our L1, L2, and L3. So I go to L3. I'm gonna need 3 wires. One's gonna go straight across down to the contactor. That's one. Do you see on the bottom left side there's a blower motor? It has 2 connection points. I want to go from L3 to one of those connection points. I want to go from coming out of the L3 fuse to one of those places on the blower motor. And then finally, I want to come out of L3 after the fuse to the other transformer high that we didn't use. We went into one side of it with L1 after the fuse. Here I want to go from L3 to the transformer. All right? To the high side. All right. Now we're going to go back to our contactor now, y'all. Go back to our contactor. Now, if I look at the top of the schematic, it says L1 feeds the contactor. Right across from it, T1. T1 goes to both number 1 on the compressor and to the condenser fan motor. So coming out of the T1 contactor, I need 2 wires. One goes directly into either side of the condenser. If you look at the condenser fan, it has 2 dots, 2 connection points. So T1 is going to go to one of those. And it's going to go to, if you look on top of the compressor, there are 3 connection dots. Y'all see those? It's going to go into one of those. Yes, sir.
What T1 hit on the bottom?
Alright, look above it. Do you see your fuse disconnect?
Yeah.
Where did L1 go into the contactor? Did it go straight down? There's 3 places it could have gone there.
I put it on low C.
Alright, so. No, that's a coil.
Oh,
Alright, now L1 feeds here and feeds through here. There should be 3 wires from here. One goes there, that's fine. One goes here. And the third one goes to one to the transformer, to the BR over here. So, let's see if we can get there. Is that what it says? No, the contact part of it. To here. Is that where it's coming from? L1 here. Alright, so when you brought L1 to here, this made this T2. This should have gone to there. Since this is L2, this will be T2. Does that make sense? This is 3, 2, 1. Does that make sense? And that one went there. Now this one needs to go not just to there, it needs to go to the blower motor. That's bring this in here. See what I'm saying? Instead of there. And also to the transformer there. So instead of there, bring that over there. That's right. Alright, now we're saying, okay, I'm right here. L1, so this is T1. I need to go to condenser fan motor, one of these, from here, and to here, one of these. Everybody else on page? Kind of hard to explain it with words. It's a lot easier if we had a diagram and just showed where it's going. All right. Okay, let's look at, across from L2 on the contactor, let's look at T2. That should go to the compressor only. So on the T side of the contactor, just go to the middle one of the compressor, I guess, if it's unopened, unused. So now let's go to T3 across from L3 on the contactor. And here we're going to go to 2 places. To the condenser fan motor below it, and to the third and final unused terminal on the compressor. Okay? Now that leaves us only one more line voltage wire. And so, you know, if you had 3 colors, it would be great. You could do all those L1s with one color, L2s with, okay. But we got one wire left. If you look at branch number 8, branch number 8, we need to go from the blower motor, the unused terminal on the blower motor, to the BR contact we're not using, okay? We came in one side of the blower relay contact, come out of the other to the unused terminal on the blower motor. That's going to do it for our high voltage, okay?
The blower motor to BR contact.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So
Okay, gotcha.
here I've got L1, 2, and 3, right? And then I got a fuse. All right. So I came out of 1, and I went to my contactor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. Have a transformer over here. Then I got my blower motor, I think, somewhere over here, blower relay, I guess.
Mhm.
Alright. So it says I want to go to the contact. So from here, went right there, right? And then on 3, we're going to the actual blower motor. Is that right?
Okay.
Okay. So then we said, since this is the L1 side of the contactor, we're going to call this side the T1, 2, and 3 side, right? It's not labeled, but if L1 feeds this, and this, and this, L2 and L3, then this would be T1, T2, and T3, right?
Mhm.
And so T1, we said, was going to feed 2 things. Condenser fan motor. And we'll come down and feed it. And my compressor, right? T2, all it did was feed the compressor. T3 had 3 circuits again. One was to feed the compressor. One for the condenser fan motor. No, we just had 2, pardon. Yeah, coming off with T3, just had 2. And so the only thing left is this is circuit 8. If you look at circuit 8, we have a wire going from the VR contact to the blower motor. So that's a line voltage.
Don't feed the blower motor.
So what?
Don't feed the blower motor.
Yeah, I did it. Right. No, I did it right there. Oh, is that how it should have come off? No. The contactor doesn't control the blower motor. It fed it from L3.
Oh, okay. The blower relay.
The blower relay was fed by L1. And the blower motor was fed by L3. And then we connect the 2 for the power.
That's C on that's the top of the cord. Top of
Contact coil. Right here.
inside the blower relay.
Yeah. Blower relay. Yeah, right there. Fine. That's the coil line. We ain't done the 24 volts yet.
Did anything go to the other blower motor? You got 2 wires going to the blower motor.
2 wires. Right here. All right, let's do the control voltage. Did you get that second wire on there? All right, I'm starting at the transformer on line 10. All right, first of all, I'm going to do the neutral side, the common side first, because it's easier. I got a parallel circuit, 2 wires. All right, so coming off this transformer here, I'm going to pick one of them, and I'm going to go to 2 places. The blower motor, common, and the contactor, common, I believe. Right there somehow. Okay? Now I'm going to do the R side, right? Do I have a fuse? Okay, I got a fuse up here, don't I? We snuck that in. I got a thermostat. Alright. This went to both coils, so the other side is my hot. I'm going to feed the fuse, and then I'm going to feed the R. Exactly what they do. I don't have to do anything internal. I just got to follow G out, and I got to find Y out. So let me do G out first. G out simply goes to my VR coil. Now I got some overloads in here. Let me see if I can draw them in here. Three of them. What else I got? I've got a low pressure switch. And what else? I've got an oil switch. Alright, are we ready? Where was my high pressure? Oh. This is high and low. Alright, I want to come out of Y, run into my high pressure, low pressure switch. Follow my schematic, I come out and I go into my overloads. Here are my overloads. Go through my overloads. Then I want to go back through my oil switch. Come out of my oil switch and go to my coil. If I can get there. Piece of cat. Love it when we're having fun.
I made a mess.
It's easy to do. Three. I'm sorry. What else? That last one. Very last thing for the contact.
Now, I don't recall discussing an oil switch before. What?
Yeah. On a big three-phase compressor change start, you're going to have a oil differential switch to alert you to protect the compressor. I mean, this is not a mechanical class, but if there's a switch on there, we're going to have to wire it.
Mm-hmm.
If it got in danger zone, it's going to open up, and there's no power going through it, so it won't run it. Just open up. Richard, 515 I got you test like this. All right, let's turn our attention to our test number 2, which is going to be Wednesday. Air conditioner, wiring up an air conditioner, making a wiring the diagram, a picture diagram, and creating a schematic. I think I just gave y'all a diagram with the with a compressor. I mean, an air conditioner, 2 phases. I didn't give y'all enough.
I got 2. It's for 2 seconds, brother.
Yeah, I'll give you some more if I can find them, but I'll put them right there. Chris, would you hand it back to her? All right, so everybody got this?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Everybody got the sequence of operation I handed out. It's got air handler on there. It's got AC condensing unit. Maybe have a furnace on there.
Yeah.
We talked about this has 5 steps. Do y'all see those? Condensing unit, 5 steps. I mean, I know most of y'all memorized it, but that's what's going to be on the test Wednesday, right? AC condensing unit. You got to wire it up.
Just go to the machine wire.
No, on paper. It's going to be a paper test.
They tell us what to do right here.
Yeah, if you hadn't memorized it, I wrote it down because some of you didn't write it down, I guess. I want to run through it.
Of course.
Yeah. Step 1, all line voltage to the contactor, right? Check it out. L1 into the contactor. L2 into the contactor. Step 1, right?
Is this the same thing you just gave us? This ain't this. That's what this
Yeah.
is? Oh.
Yeah, I just had to draw it on the board.
Oh.
Your components, mine may be a little higher, maybe a little lower.
So core.
I mean, you draw it any way you want.
What you can draw like this?
What?
The core.
This is the contactor. It says the compressor contactor. One side is L1, L1 and L2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One side is T1 and T2. Now, I didn't have to give out those sheets at all. Y'all could draw it yourself now. Y'all got hands?
Complain.
I can give you a test and say, make me a picture diagram and a schematic, and I give you anything.
With the old book.
What do you think? Come on now. We're gonna have to wake up. 5 steps to wiring this up. Did you see your L1 and L2?
Yeah, at the top.
Did I not give you a diagram? Okay. Go into the your contactor's on the bottom. Go into the contactor, right? I'm seeing a lot of confused faces like we just the first time we ever did this.
You would just draw it.
Step 2. T1 to the commons. I got 2 motors, so I got 2 commons. Step 3. T2 to the runs. I got two motors, I'm gonna have two runs. Let me make that red.
T3.
I just wish it wasn't on there. That just makes it more confusing. Step 4, T2 through the capacitors to start. Through the capacitor to start. Through the capacitor, start. And finally, step 5, 24 volt control voltage to the contactor coil. Notice I have written what here? Coil, right? Like on a contactor, coil is right here on the side, right? Of course, that's only 50 points. Second half of your test is you're going to create a schematic from what you just created. Start with the higher voltage. Step 1 was what? Line voltage to the contact, that's right. Same as 5 steps. Step 2 on your sheet, T1, which would be across from L1, T1 to the common. I've got two motors. I have to know how to draw the symbols for two motors. Step 2. T2 to the common. Step 2. Step 3. From T2 to the runs. Step 4, from T2 through the capacitors to start. All right, got to know how to draw the symbol for a capacitor. Got to label it. All right, step 4. And step 5, all control voltage to the coil of the contactor. I don't have a transformer, so I'm going to have to label it 24 volts AC. And label. All right.
We're gonna do this 208 also.
Whatever voltage it was, yeah. These are two next labs and E&F. We'll talk about them in a minute. Our next thing coming up, we'll look at today, is an air handler. Our next system. So an air handler, y'all, is the inside component, the electrical part, on a split unit system of an air conditioner condensing unit sitting outside. Some people would have gas heat, so they'd have a furnace. But if you don't have gas heat, you're probably going, if you have any heat, it's going to be electrical heat, and there's going to be some kind of coil attached to this air conditioning coil, but the electrical part will be known as an air handler. There's just a few parts here. The first part is a transformer. Got a transformer. Got a blower motor down here, right? And this blower motor, of course, has a run capacitor, PLC motor. I've got a relay to control it, and so we're going to call it the blower motor relay. It's a relay that controls the blower motor, so we're giving it a fancy name. And here, I have a terminal strip. This terminal strip will feed the thermostat, but they're not going to ship you a thermostat with the furnace, right? Now, some of the companies are pretty cheap, and they don't even give you a thermostat. They just give you some wires, and you would connect the wires with wire nuts, right? Well, we'll use a terminal strip. So does everybody see? Got this one? Let's focus on this one.
Is the voltage the same on electric and the gas?
Well, now,
Is the voltage the same?
no. On gas, it's gonna be a 120 volt circuit. All right, so that's what you got on your sheet. See, I've got an air handler sequence on here. You can use it instead of writing them down if you want. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring line voltage to my transformer primary side. I hope that's what I got as my first step. Okay, once this transformer is powered up, you're going to decide one of these is hot and one of these is common on the secondary side, the 24 volt side. Doesn't matter what, most rarely does the transformer have any kind of polarity like it cares. Sometimes it does, rarely. So we're going to designate the hot side R. So I'm going to come off from one side, designate it as R, and I'm going to connect it to my terminal strip, R. Alright, now I want to go from my terminal strip to the BMR, terminal strip G, to the BMR coil. Could I go on the other side of the coil? Yes, absolutely. Now I want to go from the other side of this coil here. Now if you come in here, then I go from there. But whichever one you didn't use, I want to go back to the transformer primary, the side you didn't use. Well, that green doesn't work well. Okay. Then I want to go from L1 to the blower motor common. I can either leave here or here. Right? Use what? T1. Here.
I mean, yeah, how you got L1, you said you can use that.
I could have gone from the transformer. It's the same place here. Okay. I want to go from L2 to the blower motor normally open contact. I think that's what I say, right? Common contact terminal. Let's talk about this for a second. So here I got this relay. I have a terminal. Close. And down here, I have my coil, my magnet. And this is energized. This one opens, and this one closes. So what we're going to do is, we're going to call this one, this terminal, normally closed. And this one's normally, so I'm going to call this terminal normally open. And both of these connect to this one, so I'm going to call it the common terminal. Does that make sense? This one connects to both of them, so it's common to both terminals. It connects this one or this one at a time. So, this, what I mean is this set of instructions says, go from L2, which one of these contacts is the common contact? Right, see what I'm saying? All right, good deal. Now I want to go out the normally open contact to blower motor high. Okay, we're going to go to run then, since I don't have a blower motor high, right? Now I want to come out of run, go into the capacitor, out of the capacitor to start. Now, that's exactly how we wired the condenser unit compressor. That's how we wired the condenser fan, right? You go to run, through run to start. After this diagram here, y'all, I'm not going to put common run and start on the blower motor anymore. Because I think most of y'all saw from the lab, if they don't expect you to do common run and start, they're going to give you 2 wires for the capacitor. And you simply bring in a line and a speed. So we'll switch over. That's why this instruction is a little vague here. But I like to start it off showing that it's the exact same motor. Exact same motor. This probably would have looked better if I had renamed these. Let me rename these. Run, start. So we feed over to run, through the capacitor to start, okay? But this is the last time today that you're going to see me talking about run and start on a blower motor. On a blower motor, not a compressor, not a condenser fan, on a blower motor. How many steps is this roughly? Like 7, something like 8? 8. So, same thing, we got to be able to create a schematic. What was the first step again? Alright, do we remember what the symbol is for a transformer? Because that's what's crucial here. Remember? There's my transformer symbol, right? First step was power my transformer. What's step 2 on the sheet? I'm going to pick a side, go to R. Step 3.
G2B relay.
So, inside the thermostat, that's going to give power to G. And that's going to go to the BMR coil, one of the connections on it, right? The coil of the BMR relay, right? This right here. The coil. Doesn't matter which side, one or the other. But I got to know that symbol. BMR. My next step, complete the path back to the transformer. Complete the path back to the transformer. So my next step is this line voltage to my motor. I gotta know how to make a motor again. Same PSC motor we've been doing, right? So for this time we're going to label it a blower motor. Common from L1 to it. So that side is hooked up hot. It's always hot on one side. Next step, to the normally open contact of the BMR, right? Do I know how to draw a normally open contact? Yeah. I'm going to label it. BMR, it's normally open, right? I went to the common side right here. Right? That thing actually has two contacts, doesn't it? I got a common side. I got a normally open. I have a normally closed. I'm not using this, right? I'm not using the normally closed one, so you don't have to draw it. But it's there. It just goes nowhere. And then finally, I'm coming over here to run in this case, which would feed my capacitor to start. Like I said, this will be the last time I do the run start on a blower motor. Not a condenser fan, not a compressor, on a blower motor. All right. Good deal. Let's talk about these labs. Yes, sir.
Which one we have in the test on?
AC condensing unit.
Not the,
This is the first time I brought this up. I wouldn't do that to you.
The 5-step.
Yes, yes.
from 5
Let's look at the number E. Lab E. The lab E is about using liquid type. This is called non-metallic liquid type conduit. I've got wire inside of it. You can buy rolls of this for like 50 feet, 100 feet, and buy wire. Or at the supply houses, you can make, we call these, when they're like this, we call them whips. And you can buy a pre-made whip. They usually sell them in 3-foot and 6-foot lengths. We usually use 3/4, but you can use 1/2 inch sometimes, you know, if you got a real small unit. If you buy a pre-made whip, you have to tell them what size wire. Most of them are going to come with either two sizes, 2 10s and a ground of 12, or 2 8s and a ground of 10, okay? You could probably save a little money by making your own, buying the wire, but you'd have to do a lot of them. And so usually we just buy a little bag of whip, because I mean, you're talking about 10, 12 bucks, and you ain't got to worry about the parts. These things, not only is you got 3 different color wires, and you got to use a snake to get them through there. It's kind of hard to get them through there. These ends don't come with it. You have to put the ends on there and washers. Now, since this is a 3/4, it's made to fit 3/4 hole. Okay? That's the next lab. Now out here we've got a heat pump. I think it's lab 5 condensing unit, and right next to it on the back of the furnace I've got a disconnect. You're to wire this whip into the disconnect and the condensing unit, and then connect the wires. To the disconnect, you know, y'all wired a disconnect before the first lab, lab A. You connect it to the load side if it's marked. It may not be marked, right? On these disconnects, I think that was on the outside, right? The power coming in was on the 2 inside. And then a ground. On the condensing unit, normally you would, on a lot of them, you would go into the contactor. But on this heat pump, a trained heat pump, they pre-wire the contactor, and they give you 3 wires to use wire nuts. So I will provide 3 wire nuts, okay? Any question on this lab? Now, be careful. These are plastic nuts and plastic threads. If you get it cross-thread, it's not going to work. So when you get it up in there, you'll make sure you got it threading properly, right? Everybody clear? Okay. Let's talk about the next one. Clay, I don't have any holes. I don't have any holes in the right place. First thing we normally do is we'll use a variable bit. You see that? Plug it in. This will go past 3/4 and then it'll be all loose. So sometimes you got to stop. We'll have one out there for you. And you put it in there and see if it's big enough. Not too big, right? That's part of the lab. The other, sometimes you're working on a job where it's getting inspected and they want you to do a real professional job. We use the slug buster. Slug buster, you need to make a hole nice and neat. And the first thing you got to do is at least start with this, I guess, 3/8 hole. That's the smallest. I don't have a half, so that's what we're going to start with. Now, on this set, this is once you get your 3/8 hole started, right? We'll put this inside there. We'll go with the smallest size. This will be on the outside. This will be on the inside. Now, some of y'all are going to do it wrong, but it happens. It's hard to get it out. You got this hole made. You put this through the hole. This is on the inside. You thread it. You down there where it makes contact. This is just 2-way ratchet. You tighten it until it digs the hole out of that size. Y'all with me? Now once we get that size, we can use this one. This one will fit for the 3/4 hole for the normal whip size, right? So once the slug buster makes the first hole, then you put this through that hole, this on the inside, you thread it up, and get started. Tighten it up, and it cuts a hole out, okay? People will put this here. People will put this backwards in here. If there's a way to do it wrong, we do it. No big deal. Until you did it, you never really did it. All right, everybody step out. Leave your books right where they are just so I can point this out real quick. Just for a real quick second here.
Hold today, Clay.
What?
Hold today.
Now keep moving. We got a lot of ground to cover,